Ever since the light bulb fell on Isaac Newton's head,
Welcome to the G4 E305 preview show presented by Jeep. I'm Morgan Webb, and here are G4's own Adam Sessler, Kevin Pereira, Jeff Keighley, and IGN's network director, Per Schneider. Now, we've got lots of debating to do and lots of eye candy to show off, so let's get to it. Now, you've probably already seen Xbox 360's much-hyped reveal. But Adam, despite not being as blinged out as Little John, got the real scoop directly from Xbox marketing VP Peter Moore.
Yep, the Xbox 360's real coming out party will definitely be at E3, and I squeezed as much information out of Peter as I could before he called security. Let's just start with a relatively simple question. 360, why?
Xbox 360, we looked at what we felt the experience of what the platform would be in the future and determined that it really is an experience that revolves around you, the gamer.
Now, the actual design of the system itself, I mean, actually, hearing 360, one would assume that might be round or pizza-shaped. Obviously, it's not. What was the logic behind it?
So what you will see, of course, is somewhat concave. It has what we call the iconic gesture. We've clearly had a difficult beginning with Xbox in Japan. The hardware has passed muster with the Japanese gamer, so we won't have that mentality that it's like an American Humvee come crashing through your walls. This is a sleek, elegant device that is very, very palatable to that gamer. We almost took a clean slate of paper with the controller you see for Xbox 360. We're very happy with the controller. The Xbox 360, as it currently stands, has a hard drive. It also has a wireless controller right out of the box. We made a decision a while back to really invest in the system memory. And so as a result, developers now have 512 megs of system memory to deal with. Enough memory for them to really deliver a true next generational and high definition experience. If you have HD, it will be a stunning experience. But if you have a regular television, you're still going to see an experience in games that's far superior than you see in the current generation of consoles.
Now, there are a couple of games, obviously mentioned on the MTV special, that you can't talk about, and these games are
Project Gotham Racing 3, Perfect Dark Zero. We're incredibly excited about the work that Rare is doing there. The third title, also from Rare, is Cameo.
Now, you're also talking about Japanese developers.
Sakaguchi-san, as the creator of Final Fantasy, is going to be doing two individual proprietary pieces of intellectual property that will be exclusive for Xbox 360 and clearly in the role-playing genre. Mizuguchi-san is one of my favorite developers, clearly from my days at Sega. And of course, Okamoto-san, most famous for his work on Resident Evil, will give us another flavor of what we need to do to be successful in the Japanese market.
Let's move on to online now. How will this stand with the Xbox 360? And more importantly, how to get more people to make it easier to jump online?
If you're an Xbox Live consumer, you seamlessly migrate your account over to your Xbox 360. Very simple to do. There'll be a tier of Xbox Live that will cost nothing. We'll have a gamer tag that'll allow you to interact.
Now, one of the bigger questions that people have is backwards compatibility. Can you comment on that?
Well, we've looked at backwards compatibility, and we'll be making an announcement a little further down the road about backwards compatibility, certainly before launch. And I can't wait to show the world this. I can't wait to put it in the world's living rooms in the holiday of this year. And I certainly can't wait to unleash what I think will be an incredible portfolio of games in 2006. It really is an experience that's going to revolve around you.
I don't know if my ego can handle it, but okay, sounds good. All right, thank you very much.
Great, Adam, thank you.
All right, Adam, so Peter said holiday season. Does that mean Santa's carrying 360s, or does that mean that we're hitting the Xbox anniversary?
You know what? I'm not. I think they're still debating that themselves, though. I think mid-November would be the latest. I think it would be
before
wise.
Thanksgiving, I think. And also, they're going to do worldwide, is what they're saying before the end of the year. So you're also going to see Japan and Europe out.
Well, what Peter said in the interview is that they're looking about a 2-week window where it'll all be rolled out across the planet.
So what? North America, then Europe, then Japan, probably.
All in a 2-week
something
period.
like that. Yeah. Japan, I think they may need a little bit more work on, obviously, because they've had so much trouble there before.
All right.
360 degrees, got to be around the world. Right?
Exactly. So it's going to hit Iceland at some
Well,
point.
not round.
A lot of
It's
people
gotta be
heard
around the world.
360. They figured that it's going to be some giant sphere and maybe glow.
Right.
But apparently it's a breathing in,
It's
sucked
like
in,
an
anorexic.
inhale.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
breathing
know.
in.
Aesthetics were a big deal with the first Xbox. People thought it was just giant and black and ugly.
You mean the ugliest thing that I have in my entire house? And that's saying a lot because I get my furniture off the street.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it made my hands bigger, actually.
Really? Really? Had to stretch them out.
Yeah.
And it
Big
grew.
controller.
No, I agree. I mean, the Xbox was ugly, and it just didn't fit into anybody's living room. I know the Japanese were like, oh my God. You know,
Especially next to
living
my
room
new
is
like
full.
slim design PS2, like that tiny little thing. I'm like, Xbox PS2?
Now, Peter was saying in the interview, and granted, he was obviously spinning it in their favor, but they designed it like that really for the Japanese market, 'cause they knew that the design of the Xbox was just abysmal in the Japanese market.
I think it's much larger than I thought. I mean, it's
That's
slightly
exactly what I
smaller
thought,
than
exactly
an
what I
Xbox,
thought.
but when you see it actually in person, it's a much larger device than people would expect.
They've got to put a lot of processing power in there, a lot of RAM in there. They
Yeah.
have that water-cooled heatsink, which is amazing. They have to have the large power button with the logo on it. I mean,
The
it does-
ring of light.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta make room for the faceplates too. Let us
Right.
not forget,
Yes.
we need giant, customizable faceplates.
Which is that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. I
I
think
mean,
that's a great idea.
Okay, good.
Wood
I mean,
grain.
I know this is good for another generation, but I mean, is that enough to really sort of like, wow, this is? I can't tell if that's really going to resonate or not.
Well, it's not, I mean, that's the thing is the games. It's like, are these games really going to be sort of a leap forward? Is the stuff? And we saw Full Auto there. I mean, which is a game that kind of looks
There is a lot more
interesting.
capability. I wonder if it is going to be a huge leap forward.
I mean, I think the issue is with the Thursday night showing of it. It did not help Microsoft. I don't think.
No, you're right.
I think these games will be good when they come out. But wow, this is like a little too. This is too little, too soon for Microsoft.
But-
Those games didn't look any different.
But you know, we're a lot more analytical and a lot more critical than the average consumer is going to be. A lot of these people are going to look
Most
at
people are like, oh, the Killers, great!
Killers, and
I
look-
love Xbox.
Well, but also,
They're playing video
this
games and
starts
they're
the buzz.
famous.
But are
The
you
buzz
going to
starts
pay,
online.
are you going to pay $300-400 for a new system this holiday season, which has some interesting games, but the current systems have a lot of
You know
great
what,
stuff
though?
coming
It's
out,
all
too.
about-
And that's Microsoft's going to be up against.
It's all about reaching out to a new audience too. I mean, the Xbox 360 looks so different. It's a gigantic freaking iPod. I mean, let's face it. It looks
that's
like
what
that.
they're- that
So I
is
think
what
the
they're
whole
going for.
idea of going out and showing the unit off and not so much the games is to say, hey, everybody, look, this is cool now. This
Well,
is not
Microsoft's
the
telling
big
me, I
guy
mean, they think
console.
grandmas are going to, play, and there are all these other people. I mean, do we really think that that's going to happen?
They're hoping. I mean, they were hoping with your self-fitness that they're going to get all the, the moms playing Xbox.
Hey, let's
and it
not
didn't
knock
happen.
your self-fitness because it transformed me into the man I am today.
And
Now,
Way
wait,
to
speaking of
go.
transformations, the controller, we're seeing it now, wireless.
yeah,
Which is
light.
great.
I love how he said it. We started over with the Xbox controller, but it happens to look exactly the same.
Yeah, but they did clip the cord at least, right?
You guys are forgetting
I mean,
one
that's-
thing. Gigantic freaking button in the middle that can let you switch off your Xbox and switch it on. I think that's a great idea.
And the
Good,
live ad
Americans
that'll
can
throw.
just get fatter because they don't even walk to the
Exactly, I
television.
don't have to move at all
Way to
anymore.
go.
Yeah.
I like it.
problem.
I like it.
I like the wireless controllers. But I think it's an obvious move. I don't think it's like a real revolutionary step at all.
Exactly.
No, I think the big step is if they make all the cords in the back go wireless.
That
so they
would
can
be
just sense the video connection.
And Wi-Fi internet, they're going to have that.
That
at
would be
least.
magic, though.
That would be magic.
And beam the video directly into your head. Let's just eliminate the TV while we're at it. They might upset Samsung with that, but it'll happen, right?
What do you guys think about like the Xbox Live features and what they're talking about, sort of the online, the idea of downloadable content in the
It
marketplace?
I just
depends
say
on
this?
what kind of content they're going to have.
Right.
The day I have to make a micropayment to buy my
Yes.
avatar a Mark Echo
Right.
shirt, I'm going to hang myself in
It's
the car.
already happening, though. I mean, you have to pay for downloadable levels.
Right, but is that going to be
Yeah.
differentiating? They say the live stuff, I think, is going to be one of the big differentiators between them and Sony. Is they're going to have
Wait,
all this great online
If you don't think
features.
Sony's going to have the same kind of online
Right.
features, they're going to have the same thing. I mean, it's the obvious next step, just like the controllers. It's like a lot of more online functionality. More people have broadband in their homes, and they expect it.
That's true, but I think it's clever that they really married the software and the hardware. It's no longer just it's online Xbox Live. You got a little indicator that has like 4 quadrants that tells you got an invite. Hey, you want to watch a movie?
But
that kind of stuff.
I think the thing is, though, they have not made the case. And I was talking to Peter about this. Are they going to get people who are hesitant to go online to go online with this?
Well, they
I
said they're
really
giving
didn't
free
feel that he
weekend.
made a
They're-
strong enough
yeah,
case.
they're
for
giving
that.
free weekends.
And they
come
have
on.
checkers online for
Well, I
girlfriends
just
and
mean
wives.
just the
Oh,
competitive
checkers.
nature. I mean, I know what Quake 2 was like back in the day, and that can scar you.
Well, and they have that silver Xbox Live Silver account where anybody can really go on and watch and do things like teleconference and. So
All right, we'll have to see ambitious new approaches on Xbox Live and the slimmed down unit. It'll be interesting. Now, if you thought fast cars and long drives and frat guys covered in grease stains only came together in Smoking the Bandit films, we got a surprise for you. The new lineup from Electronic Arts is on deck.
Brought to you by OLM, web hosting at your service since 1996.
Hey, Kevin, I know, we've been waiting for you. Come on in, you've been missing the party.
When you have a great host, getting set up is easy. Start a website with OLM.net and setup is quick and simple.
So, tell me about yourself.
Kevin has 2 older brothers, both married, 2 nieces, 1 nephew, all of whom he spoils, and his parents are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. His website has the highest sales in the US, and in his spare time, he volunteers to help homeless children.
Wow.
A great host is always there to support you, 24/7. And OLM.net is the web host with the most. So start your own website with web-based email, store and share digital photos online, and 24/7 customer support with a real live person. All this for as little as $5.95 a month. With a great host, anything is possible. OLM.net. For this special price, go to OLM.net/G4TechTV.
I know what's been troubling you. Listen to me. Only through me can you achieve a power greater than any Jedi. I can feel your anger. It makes you stronger.
Rated PG-13.
You are the designer. You are the driver. Forza Motorsport. You are what you race. Rated everyone.
Michelle, can you see how much time is left in the game? Michelle?
Butterfinger Crisp, the first light crispy wafer candy bar with Butterfinger cream and crunchy bits.
Michelle?
So bold, so delicious.
Michelle? Look at the screen.
What?
So dangerous.
Michelle!
Butterfinger Crisp from Nestle, a light new way to break out of the ordinary. Also in minis.
Let's count sand. It's not.
Bean Farmer Extreme.
Let's wait in line. Awesome. This is all you guys have? Where are all the good games? You guys have nothing. Zip. Nada.
We have not a 3.
With Gamefly.com, you can stay at home and rent games from the largest selection on the planet, and we'll send them to you. Go to Gamefly.com now for your free trial. Rated T through M.
Baby, do these jeans make my butt look big?
No, you just have a really huge ass. The jeans are fine.
Brutally honest? Watch X-Play. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Sure, the Xbox 360 is sleek, sophisticated, and already too sexy for your 19-inch Apex, but what good is it if the games aren't nearly as pretty? Gamers got a first look at what some of Electronic Arts is bringing to the table in between, trying to snatch up every sport in the world, save badminton. Well, they'll probably get to that too. Parrot, what is your verdict?
Well, EA paid a lot of money for the Madden NFL license, you know, the exclusive license, so they're going to make really sure that that game looks amazing. And Tiger Woods looks great too, but I got to worry a little bit. When you focus so much on the great graphics and sound, I got to worry about the feature set, if that's going to be up to par.
No, I guess one of the things is how, outside of the graphics, what do you see as the potential of this new technology lending itself to sports games?
Well, I think online play is the big one for Microsoft, obviously, you know, and being able to really play and get invited into a different game from EA, and I think everything fits together.
I think the other one I'm really hoping is that they would do, especially for the big pro sports games, is that with the hard drives, that there will be downloadable real-time stats on the players, so you can really play as the season is happening. Except I've always wondered if that might really make the Vegas bookies a little bit uncertain, because you can.
We've done simulations of our own on a Tactics show, and they are accurate as can be.
And imagine if you had it with the right injury list, with the right way that people have been performing.
And with Xbox Live Silver, you can actually watch other people's games. You don't have to play.
Spectator mode.
Yeah.
That's going to be.
I'm pretty excited that there's going to be other kind of football games on the market that are not going to be NFL driven, and they can do really more creative things with it. And I think that might even help the industry a little bit.
Maybe Blitz will finally get its manhood back and give me some bone crushing hits.
Actually, Blitz is looking that way. But anyway, moving on.
Okay.
So EA obviously doesn't just do sports anymore, and they have one of the biggest games that's going to be at the show, and that's Godfather. I'm still skeptical on this.
I think a lot of people who love The Godfather for the movie and really identify with the characters and everything, I think they're looking at this and hoping they don't ruin it, because EA hasn't. I mean,
Look,
they've
EA
done some
doesn't ruin
interesting
movie
things.
games. Come
Yeah,
on,
oh, yeah,
Morgan,
yeah,
you know
right.
this.
Lord of the Rings, they did
My
well.
Catwoman
It
was
good.
just like
Did
the
you
movie,
copy
but
that?
really, really bad.
Exactly.
But the Lord of the Rings games were great. I think the interesting thing about this is it's not necessarily a direct retelling of the film. It's like you play this sort of foot soldier in the Corleone family, and you intersect with the film at certain points. The question is, are they going to expand on? Are they going to be able to deliver?
Are they gonna
more
do
than
a
just
good
Grand
job?
Theft Auto?
That was the problem with The Matrix, though. You didn't play as the main characters,
Right.
and you intersected. You're like, I don't care about this
But
character.
also,
so.
think about it, like there's like really a couple of generations that may not appreciate the beauty of The Godfather as a movie.
It'll get them back into
yes,
the.
we did a Pereira.
I'm just being honest, folks.
You have not seen it?
I just
So I mean, I just
Now
wonder if
maybe
I mean,
you
it's
get
an
into it.
interesting license, but you know, even though Scarface will most likely be a far inferior game, that one resonates just due to the love of the movie in the hip hop quarters.
Absolutely.
We'll get a whole new generation into The Godfather. It'll be a beautiful, beautiful thing, even
Well,
if the game
also,
isn't.
there's Need for Speed, which is I still think one of the
yes.
Need for Speed Underground has just become this phenom for EA, even though I think the game does not merit that.
There's a lot of other big games now kind of competing for Need for Speed,
Right.
so we're going to see.
And this is Most Wanted. This is the new one.
This
Which
is Most
Thank
Wanted,
the
yeah.
Lord that the roads evaporated, because I'm sick and tired of the slick streets and the level
Now, this
2
looks
tearaways
cool.
and the neon
Yeah,
lights.
No more night races
Exactly,
only, please.
exactly.
But it's
The one thing-
chases.
I have to say that the one thing about EA's footage, like the stuff we're looking at now, their stuff always feels like a trailer, and I'm always
Right.
hesitant to think, is this what the game's
Is it
gonna
real?
be?
That's my worry about, like the Madden stuff.
Now
I
that
wonder what's actually gonna
that
look
was
like when
gameplay
you
right there.
Yeah,
So
and there were a couple frame rate hits throughout, which, I mean, it's expected,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it makes you
This is
think
not-
that it's not pre-rendered.
It looks
Yeah,
really
so-
good, though. I mean, what we're seeing right now,
Yeah,
it does look
yeah,
like
from the player perspective,
Their
you
stuff is the
imagine
stuff that's
what's
going
gonna
to
be
be
like when you play it.
Yeah,
about the next gen.
I want to see HUD's views and somebody really
That's
driving
the thing with
game.
Madden. It's like you see it and it looks great, but it's like when you see the football in a close up, you wonder, I mean, how are you actually playing? I mean, I want to see calling the plays, I want to see throwing the pass.
But they
And
have
they're not gonna
shinier
give us
helmets.
that.
Think about it. Do you realize I haven't been to many football games lately, but are the helmets that shiny?
Actually,
But
in
you
between
can
plays,
buff them.
That's right, they buff them.
they wax
But
them
I want to
in
see
between
some of this extra processing power used to like better AI and like better players, like better football player AI. Like
Right.
shinier helmets are nice, but you know you can really have some room to innovate right now. And we're
Right.
gonna see if they're gonna do that.
I mean, we look at that footage, do you guys say, oh my God, this is the next generation?
no, you say,
It's so
oh,
exciting.
that's Need for
No.
Speed, but it's pretty.
It's high
Well,
res
better,
Need for
exactly.
Speed. It looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, no,
But-
let's think about it. A couple of the other big games that are coming out of EA. I don't know if we have any footage of them, but there's Battlefield 2.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait.
Modern
I mean,
combat
the
on
thing
the
is like
console.
last year people were excited about this, but I think given the fact that there's all these next-gen consoles, it's interesting that a lot of these other and Spore, of course, from Will Wright. I think that'll be behind doors, but. I mean, is this stuff, you know, it's sort of in this new era. Do you think it's really going to still grab people's imagination?
Well, and the thing is, they're also doing games on the current system and the next gen system. So Godfather, Need for Speed, Most Wanted, they'll be on PS2 and Xbox, and you'll also get them on the next gen. But how much different will those versions be?
Right.
Yeah.
Remember
Good
the
question.
HD difference too. When you see it on a nice
Right.
HD TV and you see it next to the low
How
res
many people have
PS2
HD
version.
TVs, though?
Well,
when you go to
I think some
E3 and
people
you see
will be
it.
getting there.
Yeah,
All right,
people
now
will be.
don't forget, please don't, starting Tuesday, we'll be coming to you directly from the floor of E3 with 2 hours daily. It's live. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So hit that favorites button on your remote right now so you don't miss it. And next, his name is Prince, and he is funky. We have an exclusive look at Ubisoft's Prince of Persia 3 coming up as soon as I locate my assless pants.
New Colgate Max Fresh Cinnamon, packed with mini breath strips that explode to give you burst after burst of intense freshness. Colgate Max Fresh with mini breath strips, so fresh it's almost scary.
Napster introduces Napster to Go, the world's first portable music subscription service. Fill your MP3 player with an unlimited number of songs for only $15 a month. Go to Napster.com now to try it for free.
The passage is intense. But if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Carol Sanderson as Boundless Energy and Drive. At Medford High, Carol is editor of the paper, dive team captain, head of the Future CEOs Club, prom queen, and still has the energy to learn Mandarin Chinese. Lovely, Carol. So be Adrenaline Rush. Energy for the rest of us.
House real big, cars real big, belly real big, everything real big, ribs real big, pockets real big, rich snitch, I'm real big time.
Midnight Club 3 Dove Edition, out now for Xbox and PlayStation 2, rated E10 for ages 10 and up.
Frustrated with high-priced internet providers cleaning you out? They charge over $20 a month for service that should cost half of that. It's time you tried People PC Online. With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month. Go to peoplepc.com now to try us free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. People PC Online has all the features you'd expect from the big ISPs and a few things you might not, like virus blocker software to help protect your computer from harmful email viruses, more local access numbers than AOL, and a smart dialer for faster, more reliable connections, all for just $10.95 a month. No wonder over 500,000 people have switched to People PC Online in the last year. To try us free for 30 days, go to peoplepc.com for a quick download of our easy-to-use software or call 1-800-537-2017. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
All right, guys, well, he may not be a god of war, but this prince handles himself pretty well. Here's a first look at the much-anticipated follow-up to The Warrior Within, called Prince of Persia 3. There you go. Well,
Yes.
that looks pretty good. That's current gen stuff.
great.
That chariot race, I got to say, is pretty impressive.
It
So,
is.
I mean, the interesting thing about this is current gen. I mean, it looks pretty good right now.
I love
I
that
mean,
bloom lighting and kind of the fuzzy look. It
I mean,
looks really
I
good.
don't think anyone's really like
Everyone.
gotten to the end of the Xbox's capabilities. I mean, I think there's so
Right.
much more there. Even on the PS2, sometimes they come out with something new like God of War, and everyone's like, "Wow, that's amazing."
God of War
And
is one of the best
looks-
games I've played this
actually,
generation,
that
and
look-
we're
this
so
game
close
looks kind
to
of
the next
inspired by that?
the next console side.
But I think the thing is, and this has always been an issue, that Ubisoft, about 2 years ago, they put out Beyond Good and Evil, they put out 13, they put out the first of the Prince of Persia.
Two solid titles.
Yeah, and then the year before that, they had Splinter Cell. They have this really innovative, really creative stuff. And over that time, I think because no one went for their good stuff like that, we're seeing sort of the same rehash. Oh, it's got a dark theme. Oh,
One
it's
of the
nihilistic. Oh, it's
executives there argued to me a few weeks ago that there's a time for sort of creation, there's a time for money, and the idea is
Right.
that they're doing all these games now, so they'll be able to be super creative down the road with sort of the next franchises they do. But I mean, my worry about Prince of Persia is I love the Sands of Time. It's my favorite game.
Yeah, what did we all think
2003.
of Warrior Within? Because let me tell you, within 5 seconds, I was over the button mashing. I
Disappointed.
wanted my acrobatics.
The assless pants, as you joked about, it's like all this over-the-top stuff.
The voiceovers were terrible. But you know,
Right,
Ubisoft
no one
promises
liked
to
that.
go back with the next game to kind of go to the Prince of Persia style.
But this
Well,
one,
I mean,
this one was supposed to be that one.
This one seems kind of dark, and it's like, now they're adding this stealth element, which we saw a little bit
Which-
about, the
that's
Dark
cool.
Prince, which is kind of more Splinter Cell. And I don't know, I'm more into the
It's not.
action.
It's really fast,
Stealth.
dude. Like you run along walls and you jump on somebody and kill it. It's so fast. It's not like Splinter Cell where you like, woo, alarm off.
Now,
That's good.
when we see attacks like the one in the movie where he's swinging around the guy's
That
neck
was
and grabbing the
awesome.
we all say that is awesome. The
Yes.
animation looks smooth. I can't wait to do that. But how often do you think you'll actually be pulling that off in the
but
game?
it's
Like, do you
God
think
of
it
War-
would plant
God
it?
of War was like a really good example of that. Like there are so many great things that you can pull it off if you remember how to do it. Like if you remember the combo, it's available to you. I mean, it seems like hopefully it'll be the same kind of thing, whereas like
so.
they don't just plant 2 guys there and you get to do it once, and they're going to show it on all the, all the information.
Do you think they're
they give
doing
you.
these too often, though? I mean, this is, every November they're bringing out a Prince of Persia. Are we sick and tired of them?
Same thing with the Splinter Cells. I think that they're wearing it out.
Right,
It's hard to miss you if you won't go away.
Well, the chariot race stuff looks good. Like, I want to play that. But all the rest of the game, you wonder. I mean, if it was like the Sands of Time, I'd probably play one of those a month.
I think that like these could be other games, but they are so scared of trying to start a new franchise because they tried that and it blew up in their face.
Totally Beyond Good and Evil tanked so badly, but it makes sense that they do these updates.
But it's like you got to make some money somehow, and once you have these development teams and these expensive developers, these really talented developers, you got to pay for them somehow, and you pay for them by making.
Yeah, they're friends.
So is that the excuse, or is that the explanation, or both? That's the question.
But you got to build up the brand. And Prince of Persia 1 did not sell as well as it should. The second one sold better because naked butts,
Hopefully it'll keep selling well, Paris. We love the game. All right, guys. Well, did you know that Shakespeare used the word fond to mean senile? We'll keep that little nugget in mind as we take a fond look back at the last generation of game consoles. All that after we go to our respective corners and towel off. We'll be back.
Actually, Adam's towel.
Guys, you're on! Go away!
Let's do this.
Donkey Konga 2. Popular songs made famous by bands like Good Charlotte. Only for Nintendo GameCube, rated T for teen.
Need boredom insurance? Well, we're working on it. Progressive Auto Insurance. Not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
Longer lasting. I was here first.
Yeah, but I saw it first.
It's mine.
No.
Yeah.
Give me this stuff.
No.
This is mine.
Gotta have sweet, gotta have new, longer lasting juicy fruit.
Idiot!
Just listen to your heart. That's what I do.
Oh, hurry up, man. Boss is coming in. Dude, almost got it.
Hey guys, finished testing that game yet? I've got another one I need designed.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Great.
Hey, I can't believe we got jobs doing this. I know. And my mom said I would never get anywhere with these games.
Call Westwood College online, 800-914-8582. That's 914-8582. Call now.
X-Play, the most brutally honest video game reviews on TV. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
I see you out there. Still trying to be fly with that 10-year-old cassette player? Come on, dog. Join us in the 21st century. How does a $20,000 interior car makeover sound to you? Watch G4 for clues every night from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Then go to G4TV.com to enter the Whipset sweepstakes. 4 new clues drop every night. The more you watch, the more chances you have to win. Please believe it's the Whipset sweepstakes, May 8th through May 21st.
It probably feels like an eternity since the last big console cycle began. But some of our older gamers, like Adam, certainly remember the last time the words next gen were on everyone's lips. Let's hear about it from someone who lived through it all.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gaming History with the witty Stumpy Hazelton.
5 pennies for an apple. 9,999 was the day this generation was born, with the ill-fated Dreamcast.
Games like NFL 2K and Sonic Adventure made sure that a lot of people bought it. And it was the first time I could play against my kinfolk across the holler.
You just take this here cord and plug it into that there hole. Easy as pie. Yeah. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, PlayStation 2.
Boy, those games was as ugly as my second wife. Jaggy as a bandsaw blade. There wasn't nothing to play. But people still bought it. Then they went and made all these hippity-hop characters that I don't care too much for.
Whoa, this is great!
But then the games got better, and those buggers at Sony got smart. They signed up those kooky rockstar fellas to make a crime game, and boy, did that take off.
We are so screwed, man.
Some say it single-handedly turned the tide.
I know. You're just overwhelmed with emotion.
And if I wanted to play one of my cousins at the Madden over the phone lines, well, I could only do it on the PlayStation 2. Same goes for SOCOM and a bunch of other big uns like Gran Turismo and Metal Gear.
Who's that?
Well, over here, well, the Dreamcast died like a coon in a bear trap. I'll never understand it.
Bill Gates, the city slicker he is, decided he needed more money.
So he made the Xbox. Oh, the damn heaviest machine you'll ever see.
It made things awful pretty, and everyone was playing that shooting game, Halo. And they kept playing that shooting game while they waited for another shooting game called Halo 2.
I need a weapon. Right this way.
In between, there was a few good ones, but that sucker sunk in Japan like a burlap sack full of kittens in the Mississippi. Then there's the GameCube. Nintendo wanted me to plug everything into its purple lunch pail but games.
Oh, no! You plug the Game Boy in here, then you plug the online thingy here, which they suckered me into buying.
It's the bottom one.
Too many holes.
Then they go and tease me with this here Zelda game. It was a thing of beauty, but then they went and made it so I wouldn't like it. All the usual suspects showed up for the GameCube, but I reckon people are getting tired of them. In conclusion, the old PlayStation 2 did a lot of ass whooping because it had games for people who work at fast food restaurants, kill hookers,
Away from people
like play volleyball,
Holy guacamole!
lift weights, or just about anything else. People always say it's all about the games, and well, this proves it.
Join us next time when Stumpy explores the PSP.
Where did the daggum games go? Go! I think I broke it.
Oh, Stumpy, so kindly, so wise, so easily beaten at Dance Dance Revolution. But I think what Stumpy is trying to say, that the PS2 ruled because of its very varied video game catalog. Pear, what do you think?
Absolutely. Variety was key on PS2. I mean, you could play everything from sports like football to lacrosse. You could roll things into a ball. You could shoot things. You could do everything on PS2, and that really sealed the fate.
Although I think the other thing is that Sony markets cool very well. I think Microsoft and Nintendo, they're not as good at that. And so, you know, the PlayStation became a lifestyle.
Remember the PS9 commercial they put out that showed like a future
Yeah,
vision
it
of
just-
like what it's going to be like? I mean, you bought into the platform before there were even good games.
And just the sound effect, the whoom, when it starts off.
Exactly.
And the, PSP
And the simplicity,
logo,
the logo of the PS2, I always thought was quite effective. It kind of showed that, you know, it looked cooler than the rather clunky thing that was Microsoft.
Right, and it played DVDs at a time when you couldn't go into like Walmart and buy a DVD player for $29.99, which you can do today. It was
and
like
your
a big
GameCube
thing.
wouldn't play it, and the Xbox you had to buy, you know, $30 peripheral.
Which is something that, I mean, I think that's going to be a key factor in the success, if you will, of the PS3 because they're banking on the Blu-ray technology. You look at 360, it's still a standalone DVD player, not even HD DVD. So that's going to give people a leg up if they're like, look, I got to buy a Blu-ray player next year. I'm going to wait for the PS3 anyway.
If people even go onto the Blu-ray technology.
Price up of the PS3.
I mean,
it will. Yeah.
Well, that's why I think Sony will be willing to take a slight loss on the unit again to get the Bluray into the homes because their movie division is going to make a killing selling the Blu-ray
But
movies.
you know what? We saw in the piece there was a huge leap in the graphics between the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
And you could really see there was a big leap in the graphics. Now, I wonder if that really is going to happen this next time around.
We had so far.
It's going to be subtle. 360 could be a Dreamcast in this extent. Like, don't get me wrong. The Dreamcast was my favorite console thus far, but it was an incremental improvement.
But that's the last thing Microsoft wants to hear, because they're worried that Sony is going to Dreamcast. I mean,
They should
they've
be
already
worried.
said
They should be.
Xbox 360 is Xbox 1.5, and that's worrisome.
And Sony's trying to play that up as much as they possibly can, and maybe because they're a little afraid. I mean, or it's a good marketing
Well, in the
technique.
games, this point, people look at it and they say, well, is this current gen or is this next gen? I mean, we've seen footage of some games on the show, and it's like it's sometimes hard to tell the difference between Prince of Persia and a full auto or something.
But it's all about those other aspects, as you were bringing up earlier, that, unfortunately, we are now just dependent upon graphics to be demonstrative of the power of the system. Where really, will you have more individual AIs working? Will you have larger environments without any load times that you have to suffer through?
I mean,
that's the stuff that we should be looking for, but it's so hard to tell with these small snippets.
I mean, I really do hope that they take advantage of the extra processing power to make more creative games and not just more beautiful games. I mean, we're just looking at Dark Sector, and it's absolutely gorgeous. That's undeniable. But you wonder how much it's going to actually do differently.
I think eventually they will, but in the beginning it's all about technology, all about normal mapping, beautiful lighting, all that stuff, and it hasn't really,
Will people
yet.
pay, $300-400 then for games that don't necessarily look that much better? Maybe the convergence is more important.
Well, I think it's also that the reality, we were looking at some earlier stuff from Sega, Condemned. Now, in this game, it is quite attractive in the quality of the graphics, but it's the horrible environment that they're actually displaying. And I was thinking, I don't know if I want to spend more than 3 hours.
And I'm looking at
that.
the attack patterns of the enemies, and I'm looking at the boxy architecture, and I'm thinking, well, if they devoted a little bit more power on the Xbox to the normal mapping, they could probably make that game current gen.
Oh, no, you're completely right.
And the Dreamcast, when Soul Calibur came out on the Dreamcast, it didn't look that bad.
No, not at all.
It was pretty acceptable, and people loved that game, and it's still a fun game.
Yes, many Dreamcast games look better than the PlayStation 2 launch titles, so that could be interesting as well. People are saying, well, the 360 titles might not look that good, but
Because
at
they're
least they're not, alias stuff, as could be.
Right, exactly. I mean, people do worry that that the Xbox titles are going to be rushed, so it's going to be an interesting thing to see. All right, coming up, we'll be settling the whole PC versus console debate once and for all. But probably not. And don't forget, E305 Live is a co-production between G4 and IGN.com, so be sure to go to their website for all your online E3 needs. And before we let Adam and Paris spend yet another commercial break comparing E3 stars, we've got a quick look at Capcom's Devil Kings.
Come on!
Nobody captures the best in baseball like 2K Sports, the #1 rated sports series of 2005. Get Major League Baseball 2K5.
You could have sent a car.
Rated E for everyone.
Michelle? Introducing new Butterfinger Crisp, the first wafer candy bar with Butterfinger cream.
Michelle, look at the screen.
What? New Butterfinger Crisp from Nestle. Break out of the ordinary.
You're gonna like these guys, though. They're a pretty good crew. Everybody listen up. This is Levon. Hey, Levon, I'm Winty. You're on the 120 today. How are you? So if there's anything you need, just ask these guys. They'll take care of it, all right? Okay. Welcome aboard. Thank you. You ever been around anything this fast before? Yeah. In my last job. Well, you sound like you know what you're doing. I do.
The network is down. It was ridiculous. All right, let's go tell College Boy. Let's go.
Computer,
the network's down.
Calm down. It was a zero-day worm that attacked our operating system. We're up now. We're good.
You are good.
Oh, and Steve, your Hong Kong email girlfriend? It's a guy in St. Louis.
Kid's unbelievable. Can you really get a degree in that?
Oh, they came back. That's so sweet. See, Jeff, I told you they would. You just gotta have faith. To show our appreciation, here's an exclusive look at the sequel to the first-person shooter that brought a much-needed sense of fun and a hell of a lot more unwarranted screaming to the genre. It's Serious Sam 2. Pro team back at it. 20-person team this time. I mean, that's a double, which it's still not. You're like, oh, 20 people, like, really? But yeah, that's a big deal for them.
But simple fun again.
Yeah.
Just
It
is
like,
simple,
And it seems like they were in a lot of different environments too, like not just one kind of environment. They were like in a war zone, and there was a little bit more footage that we saw behind the scenes, and I have to say it was a little odd. It involved children, and yes, it was very strange. But
shooter does.
You can probably watch it on IGN though.
yes, I'm sure you can watch it on IGN.
Well done, Keely. Well done.
That was very nice. But it's always been a very sort of odd series and tongue-in-cheek series. Like, I remember when it came out of the GameCube, there was the short guy that was running around did nothing but like laughing and screaming, and everybody was so up in arms about that. I mean, it's
Well, I remember
always had a sense of humor.
That download of those couple of levels from the first one was like it was really one of the first times that it was a group effort to get the name out there, and then they got the publishing deal.
Well, the big thing with this new one is really the vehicles in it, and you haven't really seen that yet.
Because you can't have a first-person shooter now without vehicles.
There were vehicles. I remember in the GameCube version, everybody was very excited about that. But really, it was like a Dune buggy.
this
and,
is
like,
a
some other
big
cool
factor.
things.
All right, Serious Sam originally about the PC, then it became about the console. And there's been a few flame wars waged over the ages about PC versus console, so why not have one of our own? Except with less cheap insults and unrelated porn links, Adam. Now, it's going to get harder to tell the difference between the two sides these days, so Jeff, tell me, what's a gamer to do? Should we stick tried and true, or does it even matter?
I grew up playing PC games, and I love the innovation in them. And I still think PC kind of leads the way a lot of times in terms of innovation and the best graphics. I mean, I look at a game like Half-Life 2, which was, amazing on PC, did stuff that first-person shooters on the consoles couldn't do. But then, I start to wonder because I see the Xbox footage of Half-Life 2, and it looks, honestly, just as good.
It looks pretty good, but it's like you have to keep purchasing more PC hardware, and you're going to get less performance out of your PC than you're going to get, like, say, on your Xbox, because they're all optimized to work together.
That's a great point. It's like, some people that are showing their games at E3 on PCs told me it's a $6,000 PC they're showing their game on.
But the gamers aren't going to have
But hasn't
that.
the industry and the explosion of hardware acceleration and this, that, the other, hasn't that proven that gamers are willing to shell out the money? And now we've got physics processing units. I mean, that comes out and all of a sudden your games are ultra
But
realistic.
if your games cost that much to play, you're really limiting your audience.
It's very niche. It's very niche. But I think the other thing that was so impressive is that with the first-person shooters, there really were two types of games that they're specified for the PC.
Right.
One of them was the FPS, but then Halo comes along, and I was like, it really found a way to make it work on the consoles. But there
Without
are
a mouse.
times now that I really enjoy playing shooters on, well, not on the PS2, but on the Xbox. It's designed for it. It is a different pacing, and I quite enjoy it.
But what about RTS?
It's
Right,
preference.
RTS is
RTS
the mouse
RTS
keyboard. You can't have a Rome Total War or Command and Conquer on a console. I don't
Well,
think.
see, I think you can, but I think exactly. I think you
A different way.
It's
They
just
have those USB ports, just plug keyboard and mouse right in there, and you're golden.
well, see, now
you
this is
sit on a
interesting.
couch playing it?
But here's what's
Heck
interesting
yeah.
now. They've said that they're going to allow USB keyboards on the next Xbox, but only for text entry, not for gaming. Do we think that's a big mistake
I
if
think
they're
it's a
going to
good
allow
idea.
it? I do too.
The developers have got to work with what's at hand. I mean, if I'm sitting in the living room, I don't want to be
to keep it a level playing field. I don't want to be on Xbox Live with my controller on Halo 3 when someone else has a mouse and keyboard and is making
Go
precision
spend the $20
shots.
and get a keyboard. I mean, I think it's worth it if you're really serious about it. You have the best tools at hand. You can go spend $20, or I'm sure they'll charge twice as much as it's actually worth it to sell you this keyboard and mouse.
I think they will be able to pull off real-time strategy games on a console, but they've got to ditch the old conventions and stop the tiny text and stop the pinpoint accuracy unit selection. When someone figures out a way to do that, it'll happen.
Well, okay, when you play a PC game, there's more intimate relationship with the game right there. You're right on top of it. You're like you're
close.
playing
But
around.
let me ask you,
just
Pear,
can't
do you want
get
to be
that.
intimate with your games?
No, not really.
Because they have helpers.
You don't know what you're missing there, Pear.
No, but the thing is, also this generation has been interesting with Xbox because it was so close to a PC. You had a lot of PC developers starting to do games for Xbox and sort of transitioning over to the console. So it'll be interesting in the next generation how many people will do games for PC and console at the same time, or whether people are just going to move to the console because the PC. I mean, when you're spending $20-30 million developing these huge next generation games, can you even afford to put it still on a PC when you're going to sell a couple 100,000 units?
Well, let's think about Psychonauts, recently released. Everybody said, you know what? Don't even bother with the PC version. It's nice that it's there. Thanks, Mr. Schaefer, but no, we'd prefer our controller.
But that game might have been better on the PC. I mean, the first month it sold like 13,000 units on the Xbox, which was really disappointing because it was a great game.
You know, digital distribution might actually help though with PCs as well. So if you don't
with
have to go out
Xbox
and get
Live.
the games,
Well, the other thing that might help with PCs, if buying a graphics card was something that was a little bit easier for a non-tech person to do. I mean, that industry itself has really kind of kept out a lot of.
It's getting easier though, especially with unified driver downloads, where you don't have to. Oh, which revision of this card do I have? Like they are making it easier.
But now PC games, like when I put a PC game in, it's like sometimes it takes 20-30 minutes to install the game with 4 discs, and it's like now with consoles you're sort of spoiled. You can just pop it in and play.
And make it work, right, exactly. And it's like the console version of Final Fantasy XI, now working with the PC version, it seems like maybe you don't have to pick. Maybe you can have both.
Well, you can also just pick not to play Final Fantasy XI.
That would be the right choice, Adam. All right, at E3, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo will go toe-to-toe to... I don't know what the hell Yoshi has. I guess pause. Anyway, the game giants are going to have at it, and we're going to try to figure out who's going to be left standing and who's going home crying in their leftover swag. Now, of course, we'll all have ringside seats to the throwdown on the E3 convention floor, and so will you, because we'll be bringing you 2-hour live coverage every day at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
In the beginning, evil had its day.
Sometimes things just go bad.
What chance does Gotham have when the good do nothing?
On June 15th, evil fears the night.
Gotham isn't beyond saving.
Batman Begins. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX June 15th.
Longer lasting.
Hey, who's that? Come here, that's mine. Hey, bring it back.
Gotta have sweet, gotta have new, longer-lasting juicy fruit.
Hey, what do you got? Desktop, 17-inch flat screen monitor and speakers. Nice, I got a couple notebooks. Well, you're lucky. No, you're the lucky one. No, you are. All right, I gotta go to Miami. Miami? You're so lucky.
Take delivery of a Gateway 5310S with a fast Intel Pentium 4 processor, just $499.99 and found only in a Gateway box.
Oh, hurry up, man. Boss is coming in. Dude, almost got it.
Hey guys, finished testing that game yet? I've got another one I need designed.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Great.
Hey, I can't believe we got jobs doing this. I know. And my mom said I would never get anywhere with these games.
Call Westwood College online, 800-914-8582. That's 914-8582. Call now.
Well, how come you haven't called me back?
Because I was drunk and just using you for sex, okay?
Really?
Brutally honest? Watch X-Play. Next.
The worst part was the pressure. Phone calls at home, phone calls at work, letters in the mail.
It was nice to help. Since Debt Free works with thousands of creditors, we got his interest lowered and his penalties eliminated.
Every day, thousands of people call Debt Free, a nonprofit organization.
I was snapping at everyone, on edge all the time. I just didn't know how to deal with it.
I think it was the first good news she'd heard in a long time. I explained everything Debt Free could do to help her, and we figured out she could pay off her debts in 5 years and still have money left over every month.
I wanted to do something. I just didn't know where to start.
I showed her she could make just one monthly payment, and she didn't need to borrow money to do it.
Stop running from debt. Call Debt Free today.
I'm back to my old self. I'm glad I called Debt Free.
I'm not snapping at people anymore.
If you're overwhelmed by debt, gather your bills and call Debt Free now.
I'm getting out of debt, and I'm doing it myself. And I'm pretty proud of that.
The Xbox 360 recently made a big splash, and although we have nothing against the killers, I blinked and missed the actual console coverage. I know. Does this mean Xbox has used up its buzz, or will they have enough in the tank to battle whatever surprises Sony and Nintendo have in store? Simply put, which system is going to be on everyone's wish list once E3 ends? Now, it's important to note that right now we have not seen the press conferences.
Yes,
so while
right.
we've seen some information from Microsoft, we haven't really seen anything
Xbox
from...
is showing its cards. I mean, Sony has the element of surprise.
Do you really
now.
think they've
That's
shown
the
their
question.
entire hand?
They've shown their inhale.
There's some
In the
rumors
public
that they
perception
might.
they have.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's
I think,
rumors
yeah.
that maybe at the press conference they might talk about, where Halo's going to go next. That would be natural. But I mean, by and large, they've shown the system.
Maybe
they've
they
shown
think
the games.
underwhelm them with the TV special, and then we'll really blow them away when we show them something decent.
That's a great way to spend a marketing budget.
It's like a totally
Microsoft
different
can do it.
audience.
They can do it.
Right, but you see, Sony, it's like, PlayStation 3, no one knows anything about besides it's going to be a stealth chip. I mean, what is it going to look like? What are the games going to look like? They could show, I mean, they have the element of surprise now. And that's the thing is, I think don't underestimate what Sony's going to bring to the table. And the fact we talked about, like, are they going to try and Dreamcast Microsoft and say, their stuff looks great, but, Xbox 360 is shipping this year, so PlayStation 3 is not coming until next year. So they can sort of, show some tech demos, some graphics, and
They're
say.
going to try as best they can to do it. That's their
really
angle.
confident about PS3. You can already, they call Xbox 1.5, so you know they have something that's going to stand
Or
out.
they have the hype is the thing. They're like,
Exactly.
they're going to
it could
set
just
up
be
their...
a marketing sort of move. To just
Look, Sony's had 6 years to work on this thing. I hope they have something better than an emotion engine type demo. They better have something good and something real.
Now, the only thing is that I think since Microsoft seemed to have fumbled with their special, and Sony's capitalizing on it right now with all the buzz, if they're going to build up expectations too high. I think that's what makes Nintendo a little bit interesting in this, is that it wasn't until just the other day Parent Kaplan suddenly mentions the existence and the kind of the what the revolution is going to look like. That all wow,
They say, hey,
this
we're
is
sleeker
now
and
I'm pretty
sexier,
confident we're
slicker.
going to see
and play
something.
DVDs, which is something that
most
Nintendo would have never
importantly,
done before.
backwards compatibility. It's confirmed, it's there, and now Microsoft really has to step it up.
And you can wirelessly link your DS to the system as well. They've mentioned that
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, it sounds like they're doing a lot of the right things, and Nintendo's kind of always the underdog, and I always go into E3 hoping they're going to get it right this year.
Yes.
And always the press conference, you sort of sit there, you just like shake your head.
They're sitting there hoping that like Microsoft and Sony are going to be going after each other so much that they're just going to
They're hanging
sneak
back.
in there. They're not going to have to pay as much for marketing. They're just going to put out like a good system, a good quality system, which is what they always
And
do.
an
That really
innovative
holds
system.
up.
But they keep on saying innovation over graphics.
Exactly.
Well, but the other thing about Nintendo, which is so curious, is while they always seem to have the lowest market share, they're actually getting the best profits because they just don't lose money on these on the hardware, and they have the GBA.
You embrace their sort of childlike sensibilities.
Yeah.
That's important. But then they start talking about Zelda on GameCube. I mean, Zelda's coming out at the end of the year for GameCube, and it's like GameCube is kind of over, and now they're they're trying to bring out these mature games, so they have to decide who they
Over,
want
but
to
the
be.
GameCube is so cheap. You can just pick one up and Zelda. I mean, it's really cheap right now.
GameCube is over, but you'll be able to play it on whatever the revolution is.
Nexus.
So
Right.
really, I mean, I think that entire library will be viable.
And I'm waiting for Legend of Zelda. I mean, I'm
No,
not going to
we
pass
are.
this one up.
Absolutely.
It looks really, really awesome.
And let's not forget about the handheld stuff too, because PSP is out there now, and it's like DS.
That's a big fight that
happen?
everybody keeps forgetting. It's going to be PSP and DS this year, and come holiday season. And what I think is really great is at E3, Nintendo's going to let people bring their DSs and wirelessly try out the demos. Like that's a great thing.
Maybe we could Picto Chat at the press conference.
Exactly.
I mean,
there's going to
all
there's going to be just a group, a flock of fanboys in the PSP booth wirelessly trying out their free demos from Nintendo. I mean, that could one-up them and really give them the edge.
That's one of the selling points, actually, of the Revolution is Nintendo's back catalog. You're not just going to be able to play these new franchises. You can get the old ones. Kaplan actually said you can download stuff. So maybe there is an Xbox Live Arcade component, or you download to the DS.
Do I get the light gun?
But do you think there's
Stylus
anything?
tapping.
Do you think there's anything that Microsoft has kept hidden on the Xbox 360? Do you think
Something about Halo. You would think, given the fact that Perfect Dark is
Fable too.
not wowing people,
Right.
that they need to bring out their old warhorse Halo to try to get people, all excited.
Right, I don't think it's coming for
I think
launch,
the thing is, and I just want to say this, is that once again, I think people are going to not be happy with Microsoft at the show because of what's already happened. But I don't know if that really means that they're down for the count.
Well, the
We're gonna
challenge
have
is
to
that
wait and see
the games
what's
are going to be
gonna
shown at E3 are going to be shown on alpha development kits, which are basically Power Mac G5s with not even the final graphics chip. So people are saying that the development alpha systems are only about a quarter as powerful as the final hardware.
And you have to understand that these are not final versions of these games. And
remember when we saw Halo at E3, it was running at a perfect dark frame rate, which was a feature at the time. But then they actually cleaned it up and got it running.
And Microsoft's
smoothly
going to
for the
remind us of
launch.
that every time we say something
Right.
negative about Perfect Dark. They're going to be, remember Halo, remember how great
Exactly.
it was.
and they're bright to do so.
Yeah.
Now, some of you may recall that Adam and I said there'd be no way Resident Evil would look as good on the PS2. Well, we're big enough people to admit when we're wrong. Or at least I am.
I'm big.
No, you're not. Here's an exclusive look at Resident Evil 4 on the PS2.
Vaya por detrás.
I'm under the president's order to rescue you.
What? My father?
There are some things in the world better off not knowing. This is one of them. Luis, Sarah. I thought I was high maintenance.
He's a survivor of Raccoon City.
He has no idea what's going on. He's nothing we need to worry about.
Ashley, you stay here.
I don't always play by your rules.
Resident Evil 4.
Singing our Star Wars ringtones, take 73.
Very nice, Chewie. Now this one, you said. All right, beautiful? Off you go. Try one with no accent. I love it. Now make me hate it.
Exclusive Star Wars ringtones and downloads created just for Singular.
That's an interesting choice.
Come in now for the new S710 preloaded with Star Wars extras and get 2 free tickets to Star Wars Episode 3, Singular, Raising the Bar. Why is it taking so long?
Need social disaster insurance? Well, we're working on it. Progressive Auto Insurance, not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
Oh, hurry up, man. Boss is coming in. Dude, almost got it.
Hey guys, finished testing that game yet? I've got another one I need designed.
We just finished level 3 and need to tighten up the graphics a little bit.
Great.
Hey, I can't believe we got jobs doing this. I know. And my mom said I would never get anywhere with these games.
Call Westwood College online, 800-914-8582. That's 914-8582. Call now.
X-Play, the most brutally honest video game reviews on TV. Next.
G4 live at E3. Believe it or not, I'm watching E3. I never thought I'd get in so easily. Watching G4 in my beat-up chair. What will I see? Believe it or not, it's E3.
All right, we're running out of time, so we're going to do this McLaughlin style. Your pick for E3, go, Pereira!
All right, having not seen the press conferences, and I know I'm going to get raked over the coals for this, I'm saying Microsoft. And the reason why? Because they need to. They've got a console coming out this year. They better step it up, and they have the money. I mean, if they don't have the games and then the hardware and the booth babes to show it off, they could just pull a GDC and buy everybody a HD TV.
All right, Pear!
I've got 3 things. I've got PS3, I've got Shadow of the Colossus, awesome looking game, and then Legend of Zelda. Come on, you gotta love it. You gotta climb for it.
All right, Webb!
Oh, I should have picked Shadow of the Colossus. I was actually looking at Dark Sector. I think the graphics in that are absolutely amazing. It's really showing off what the next generation consoles can do. And then a game called Okami. I don't know exactly.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's really showing like what the creativity can do with the Japanese calligraphy style. Oh, it's gorgeous.
The Wolves.
The wolves.
Yeah, I love
wolves.
And you?
All right, Sess. Well, I'm going to pick something from EA, which is probably not a popular choice, but yeah, it's like, we talked about EA games earlier, but the game I'm talking about is Black. Now, this is a game from Criterion. The guys who did Burnout 3, one of my favorite games last year. Now, they are basically taking the Burnout style of gameplay to a first-person shooter. There's only one screenshot in existence of this game, but I've seen the demo. They
sold you.
It's like they call it gun porn, and the whole idea is that this totally interactive environment where the gun is the focus.
All right, well, that's good.
So we'll check it out.
I'm making a choice that anyone who watches X-Men will be shocked with. I'm looking forward to Elder Scrolls 4. Oblivion.
He told me this, and I didn't buy it.
Morrowind so much, but it was flawed.
Right.
But I believe that Bethesda has had enough time to learn from their mistakes that if this is what Morrowind should have been, I can get lost in this world.
What's interesting is that there's no like one front runner leading to the show. I mean, we all pick different things. I mean, this is exciting. I mean, it's not like
we also pick the stuff that interests us each the most.
Sure. I'm a Microsoft fanboy. Adam doesn't know a lot of games, so he goes with what he's played before.
Exactly.
But I think the most important thing here, again, is that this is going to be, I think, the biggest and best E3 ever. We've got. I mean, this is the most.
Well, yeah, but Kevin, it's your first E3, right?
That's right.
Well, yes. I'm new to this whole thing. So I hear there's lights and noises.
I don't know. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. If we spend any more time talking, we'll miss the convention. And you know what? I do have that booth mascot costume I got to get in.
With the assless
You know
pants,
what?
right?
So that's it. But be sure to tune in to GeForce extensive E3 coverage starting on Tuesday. That will be tomorrow. And we'll be coming to you each day directly from the convention floor with 2 hours of live shows starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. And then you go to IGN.com for nonstop online E3 coverage if you think you can handle it. Don't worry, I do believe in you. So, you guys go rest up. We got to rest up. This is going to be a marathon. This might be the biggest E3 ever. I think
I just said that.
Actually, you're stealing
You
his
know what?
Is this your first E3 or?
I'm going to say it's the best E3 ever.
E305 is presented by Jeep. Today